What is going on, everyone? Is that too loud? Let's get this back here a little bit. Nice and relaxing. Anna Leone, how are you? What is going on, everyone? Sup? Mark Lambert. Matt, what's up? Be prepared to answer media bias mainstream culture questions. We're answering culture questions today. With judging by the stats, if anyone watched today's video, nobody's interested in Cleveland. Holy hell, that video tanked. It was pretty funny, too. That thing just totally took a crap on me. Hey, I'm glad it's your first time here. Welcome to the live stream. You know, I meant to do this just for members, and I screwed up, and it's for subscribers. So, not that I screwed up, I'm kind of glad I did. I kind of wanted to get away from streaming on this channel, because it kind of tanks my stats, but my stats tanked this month anyway, this part of the year, so I'm just going with it. Here we go, brownies. Okay, got a lot of people in here. Well, not a lot, but the chat's moving fast. You're living with my doppelganger in central PA. Heidi, how are you? Hello from Atlanta. Vegas, John. All right. Hey, thank you for supporting the channel. Donna, I really appreciate that. Hello from Arizona. Briggs, in the flesh. That is how I usually show up, in the flesh. Well, I usually like to have some clothes over the flesh, but I mean, at this age, nobody wants to see me without the clothes except my wife. When I was 20, though, I actually had a washboard stomach. I think most dudes at a certain age just lose the ability to have a really good waistline. Best city for veterans? That's easy. San Antonio. Greg, how are you? Bronson Pinch. What? Oceanside, huh? Thanks, Michelle. Michael, sorry. Grand Rapids. Henderson, Nevada. I think Henderson, Nevada stores a couple of my ex-girlfriends. I mean, are they ex-girlfriends if it's been this long? I mean, after 20 years, do you just have any ex-girlfriends anymore? Or do you just have a bunch of people you dated once? Mocha Brown, nice to see you. Wyoming. I was just looking at Google Trends, and for some reason, everyone is searching for Wyoming things right now. I don't know why. Jake, how are you? HD, how are you? One of our longtime members. Laguna Hills, Huntsville, Alabama, Oklahoma. Is that at higher gas prices, Briggs? Yeah, you know, thanks to Russia, we probably will have higher gas prices. Fort Morgan. So if you guys see this every once in a while tonight, it's because I had to I've got sinuses are killing me today. So just so you know what that's all about. In case I disappear for a second and you hear some rustling around. Oklahoma City, yep, interested in Wyoming. Wyoming, I think I'm going to have to do some Wyoming videos here. Wyoming and West Virginia seems to be, people are looking at West Virginia these days. West Virginia's got its issues. Being a good place to live, being a cheap place to live, it's a great place. $4.26 a gallon. What type of music do you like? I don't like metal. Now, I've never been a metal fan, even though I was kind of raised on like LA punk rock when I was young. I'm talking 13 to like 17, kind of grew out of it. But these days I listen to a lot of, I guess they're calling it like new folk music, like Bon Iver, Gregory Alan Isaacoff, Iron and Wine. I listen to that nowadays. Bon Iver I listen to all the time though. Love them. Hey, Derek, thank you for supporting the channel. Does East St. Louis have the lowest livability score? No, they do not. They're close. And I don't know what it is offhand right now, but it's pretty close. So everyone's talking about gas prices, and I got a weird delay here. I wonder if I can work that delay. I'm tired of having such a long delay. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can do this. Redirect. I don't think I can do anything about that. Anyway, so everyone's talking about gas prices. This is my advice to you. Don't worry about it. You can't change it. I mean, we got to buy gas. It's like, why worry about something that you can't do anything about? That's how it'll save you a lot of headaches if you just, you got to pay the gas if you got to go someplace. It sucks, but why worry about it? If American State Department didn't think it ruled the world, Russia wouldn't be a war. So I'm going to blame our government. But then again, yeah, there's, you know what? You could track any international incident to someone, somewhere, besides the people perpetrating it. Doesn't mean it's going to be true, or it's the actual reason for it. You think best states for construction work? Oh, that's a solid question. Solid question. Texas is slowing down. Texas was big for a long time. Idaho, again, slowing down a little bit. In the coming years, I think you're looking at Midwest, especially like Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri even. Those places are doing a lot of construction right now. And it's just, if you could find a nice area somewhere in Wyoming, down towards, or not Wyoming, I'm sorry, Missouri, down towards the southern, western tip of it, because Arkansas and that area is building up. So are parts of Wyoming, Missouri. That might be a good place to be looking for work right now in construction. That's just from what I've seen. Or of course, hey, do you think the Browns should move on from? No. Baker Mayfield had a bad year last year because he was injured most of the year, and they didn't really have the best wide receivers. So yeah, it's frozen again. God damn it. Oh, I'm going to kill myself one of these days on this. I forgot we had that software where it's frozen. God damn, I got to fix that. One of these days I'll get my crap together and, not have things like that. Why does it do this? Ooh, it drives me crazy. If you can hear me, I'm unfrozen now. It takes a second to catch up. There's like a 20-second delay, I think. There we go. It's going to freeze up again in about 5 minutes. We're going to have to do this. I don't know what's going on with it, and I got to take everything down and figure it out. One of these days, I'm going to get this streaming crap together and actually do it properly. How many of you guys watch my On This Day channel? Cheyenne, Wyoming, it's a nice place. Back normal, yep. Okay, so if you guys like that channel and you want it to, keep going, I would suggest making sure you watch all the videos and maybe even share them, because we're getting to that point where it's not growing fast enough and we're starting to weigh out, is this worth it? Should we do it? Should we go back down to 3 days a week? What are we going to do? So we're kind of on that thing. Is it worth the time we're putting into that one? Because it's just not growing like I'd wanted to. It had this big jump for a while, but then it just kind of leveled out. So I don't know. We're on the fence about it. Let me know when it freezes up again, because I got this monitor that's like this big. My picture's over here. I'm reading over here, so I don't catch it sometimes. So, there's a good question. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of questions, guys. I'm going to get to this one real quick. Will I be updating the video for best places that'll pay you to move? Well, I could, but they really haven't changed much. I actually looked into it about a month ago, and it's still pretty much the same things. I was thinking about going deeper into it because that's a very interesting subject and a lot of people are interested in it. And I might actually find out all the ins and outs and maybe spend a lot of time explaining what you have to do to get that piece of property or get that money to move there. And maybe even have links to the different functions and stuff like that, or the different programs to get that property. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Niner Zulu. Let's see here. Briggs. I hate New Jersey. However, South Jersey, not including Camden, where I grew up, is a hidden gem. I live there back in. So New Jersey's not terrible. It's got Camden. Trenton's not the best place in the world either. And some of their cities are a little messed up. But rural New Jersey and the smaller towns throughout the center part of the state, I really like. It's really, really nice. What New Jersey's problems are that I have a problem with is they do have a little bit of an issue with corrupt politicians that have made bad moves, and the state suffers from it. All states have it, but New Jersey goes a little further sometimes. So, the point I'm trying to make is also that Superfund site just drives me crazy. How could they let that go through with their people to where they just have all this toxic waste dumped in that state over the decades? I don't know. I've just always had a bad thing when governments just don't treat the people right. I mean, you could have an argument that no government, city, state, or federal government has ever treated its citizens right. But sometimes when they go beyond the average normal of citizen abuse, that's where I have a problem with it. Mississippi's another one. Great people there. It's just, what's wrong with it? They've sucked forever, and it's like their politicians aren't doing anything to get any better either. I mean, Mississippi's beautiful. I don't like the heat, and I don't like the summer, and I don't like the bugs. But other than that, it's a beautiful state. People are amazing most of the time. States with the best sunsets. You know what? If you get past the ocean ones, then New Mexico has some of the best sunsets. Thoughts on Superman? I'm not a Superman guy. I grew up on Marvel. I don't dig Superman. I blow my nose, guys. Sorry. All right, I'm back. Fixed just like that. Yeah, eventually I'm going to figure out what the deal is with why my camera keep... You know what? I just got to put another camera up there. I use an actual DSLR camera, and I think one of the wires is screwed up, or the camera's screwed up itself. That's why it keeps freezing. We should be freezing pretty soon here. Best city for homeless? I think we did that one already. Hey, Briggs, where do you think the best city in Florida to live next 5 to 7 years? It's a good question. You know, I honestly think the Tampa, St. Pete area is probably your best bet. That's my opinion of the stats and things I've seen. You know, that little Cocoa Beach and all that area is nice too. Jacksonville I have no use for, but I would say the St. Pete area, Tampa Bay basically. Thoughts on Poker? Poker's fine. Thoughts on Bend, Oregon? It's a beautiful city. It's got a little too much homeless right now, just like every part of the country, but it's nice. Jake Krause, you should do an Alaska train review for Fairbanks to Anchorage this summer. Oh, that would be so nice. You know what? I'm thinking about doing more train videos on my other channel and more cruise videos. That'll be happening soon. And thanks for supporting the channel, Jake, and the last one I had, too. I answered the question, but forgot to thank you. I really appreciate it. But I like doing the train videos on my other channel. If I do them on this one, people just tune out and I start losing subscribers for some reason. It's like they got offended because I did a vlog or something like that. It's weird. But, you know, I kind of understand they're showing up to see my lists, not my vlogs. So I keep the vlogs on the other one. But I am doing another train video next weekend. I'll do it, and it'll be up like 2 weeks after that. That's just the California, Oregon one. British politicians, corrupt taxes, and laws in New Jersey are horrible. Yeah, I will come back. Would you be interested in a week stay video? In a week stay video? Like stay in New Jersey for a week? No. I've got a laundry list of places I need to stay, and right now I don't think New Jersey's on that list. Okay, Miss Chick, what's going on with this Bronson Pichon thing? You just keep filling up the chat with that, and I don't get it. Sometimes on this day bums me out. So, yeah, I could see that. It does have some negative stuff on there, but I'm just talking about the news and things that have gone on in the world and over history, so I can get that. Hey, G Vought, thank you for supporting the channel. You too, Niner Zulu. Thanks again. Thoughts on Mexican food. I think about Mexican food all the time, and it's always fabulous. I'm one of those people that there's an old saying about pizza, but I feel the same way about tacos and Mexican food in general. They always say pizza is like sex. When it's hot, it's good. When it's cold, it's still pretty good. Well, that's how I am with Mexican food. If it's good, it's great. If it's not so good, it's still great. Hey, Amy, how are you? Evening. Where have you a city and town that livability score less than 50? If so, where? So I should do that video. The lowest ranking cities I could find. Because, you know, it's easy to do it by crime rate, and it's easy to do it by, you know, cost of living, housing prices, and stuff like that. But to actually search for the state with the lowest, or the city with the lowest quality of life or livability score, and go with that. That might be a good video. I think I should do that. But Amy, thank you for supporting the channel. No, David, I'm not going to the EDC with you. I'm too old for that. That music blow my ears out. Okay, it's pronounced vote. Did I say something else? What do you think the best place to live off the grid is? Wyoming? You know, Wyoming's good. Colorado is good too. Especially the lower area, the southern area near New Mexico. A lot of people do it there, but Wyoming's good. If I was going to live off the grid, I'd want to be in the trees someplace like Maine or something, but those winters get brutal. All right, I'm missing a lot of things in the chat, and I do have to apologize. People get mad all the time when I miss things. I apologize in advance. I do this by myself, and I got a whole bunch of things going on here. Let me see if I can catch up here, and I'm looking to see if we're frozen, so. My wife cooks authentic Mexican. My wife is Mexican, but she doesn't really cook that much. I actually cook more than my wife. She's gotten better over the years, though. But that's part, I was raised by a family that owned catering businesses and restaurants and stuff like that. I knew how to cook when I was 6. You grew up in South Jersey, happy to have left, dead-end place, living, no culture. Yeah, that could suck. 36 hours, St. Louis to Vegas on a train. That is a good trip. So I've taken the one, so these are the train trips I've done so far. Southwest Chief from Chicago to LA, and then I came back up to Oregon. I've done Oregon and, you know, the Coast Starlight. I've done that several times. And then I've done the Empire Builder, which goes Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, all that area to Chicago. I've done that one. I've also done the California Zephyr, which is the most amazing trip I've ever had. That's the one that goes from Chicago to Denver, through the Rockies to Sacramento. It's a great trip. Cities with the worst roads. Yeah, that could be a good one. Martin Ricks. Hey, Mr. Briggs, a fellow resident of Oregon. A while back, you did a video on the worst towns in Oregon. Medford was on the list. I just moved to Medford, Eugene. Yeah, Medford and Eugene's, they're not as bad as Portland in a lot of ways, especially with the homeless situation and the crime. Medford's kind of okay. They got their problems just like every place else. Yeah, I think we got to get rid of Miss Pajant thing. Let's put her on timeout for a while. Tired of seeing that. I mean, it's funny once in a while when you do something like say something about Bronson Pichon, but yeah, after a while you gotta kind of leave it alone. I did one on the weirdest museums. Video did horrible. Yeah, David, you should take more train trips there. It's a pretty good time. It is sad about Portland, especially lately. So when I moved up here, you had some homeless, but mostly they were street kids, and you had a handful of homeless. This was 11 years ago, and it's gotten increasingly worse. Well, now they've added the occasional shooting, and it used to be once a month you'd hear about a shooting on the news. Now you hear about a shooting every single day. They need to get a handle on that. My favorite mode of travel, cruise or train, easily. Hey, how are you? Great, thank you. Rogelio? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Rogelio? Your rail. That sounds fun. Your rail. My opinion on the Poconos, it's got its ups and downs. They got some little towns that you should probably avoid, but in general, I like it. They don't have the best reputation, but I like the Poconos. What's my zodiac sign? I'm a Pisces. You obviously don't watch our On This Day. We talk about that all the time. Retired Army, looking for a place or ocean, good internet, military base, at least 65 degrees year-round, not too expensive. Any recommendations? Go inland from, maybe not Hemet, but look at some of the nicer areas around there, which are close to San Diego. You're inland from the ocean. That's the closest place you're going to find anything really cheap. You could also, any place that's really nice that's near a military base and the ocean is going to be pricey. Maybe not. Fort Hood's a little inland too, which is in Texas. So yeah, I'd suggest inland from San Diego a little bit and try your luck there. And thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Charlie Brown. LA shootings daily. Yeah, but LA's 10 times bigger, so it's not like an excuse and it makes it okay, but you kind of expect it from a major city like that. Portland's a medium city. They shouldn't have shootings every day. I am doing more videos on different countries. Actually, I'm working on the rudest cities in the world. I've excluded the American ones because we already did that about a month ago. So it's going to be the ones outside the United States. That should be up Monday or Wednesday. Single seniors. Actually, down to San Diego again. If you could swing that, afford that one, that's pretty good. And then we just talked about Tampa area, Sarasota, all that area around there. That's great for single seniors. Hazelton, Poconos, no like shootings. Come to Canada. Yeah, I know. Canada's probably the best place if you're trying to get away from getting shot at. Yeah, the Poconos were big in the 60s. Actually, I'd say all the way back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, and around the 80s when they got a little squirrely. Yeah, I'm not thinking. I'm trying to think of I can't think of the areas around there. Hemet. You have some other areas out that way. Hemet sucks, but I have to pull up my map for this one. Menifee, Temecula, Murrieta, those are really decent. They're out in that area. They're a little bit cheaper. They're getting more expensive, but they're outside of Oceanside, Vista, Carlsbad. You got a little bit of drive to get to the ocean, but it's not a terrible drive. Could be worse. And we haven't frozen yet, and I'm going to say that, and it's going to happen again. Watch. Last week when we were doing this, hey, Ace, thanks for supporting the channel. What's your opinion on video game Donkey? Don't even know it. Donkey. Don't even know it. And don't try and... that's, I've never... I watched some poor girl get trolled. She's running her thing, and some guy said, "Hey, could you wish my friend a happy birthday?" And he had some fake name on there, and she said it. And it was like, his name's Harry Scrotum. And she said, "Happy birthday, Harry Scrotum." She's all, "That's not right." She was totally upset. Unfortunately, there have been shootings in Toronto. Yeah, you're going to have shootings everywhere. Very interesting figure in Oregon history. Tom McCall is a very interesting character. I read a couple articles about him. I was like, this guy's pretty interesting. My dad may get a job in Baltimore area. Any advice you want to know? Move there. You know what? I think, honestly, Baltimore's on the beginning of a turnaround right now. They still got crime. They still got some issues. But I honestly think 5 to 10 years from now, you're going to see a totally different Baltimore. I've been kind of saying that for the last couple of years because I've been watching tech companies move in there. Normally when you have tech companies move in, things are getting better. Hey, first time getting here, huh, Tennessee? Now that's funny. What's funny? Clarksburg, Bridgeport, West Virginia. Reno, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that, are you thinking... Yeah, I do think Baltimore, though, is on the upswing. Are we frozen again? No, we're not frozen. Sweet. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you. Michael Lulu Music? My dog's name's Lulu. Well, that's Lula, sorry. My dog's name's Lulu. Lulu Bell, actually. Baltimore looks so much better. Watch. Players, yeah, it did look pretty good then, didn't it? Northwest Arkansas, Augusta. I would go with Northwest Arkansas. That place has a lot of promise right now. That's kind of like what Baltimore's going through right now. What happened in Northwest Arkansas. A lot of good companies moved in there. People start getting hired. And, you know, if you break it down to the most basic way, one thing, if people got jobs, they're out doing less stupid shit. And that's what happened in Northwest Arkansas. People had jobs, no time to do stupid stuff like commit crimes, and the whole area got better. Thanks a lot, Tennessee. I have lost some weight. Telling you, you guys, if you want to lose weight, stop sugar. You know, if you go to the smaller towns in New Jersey, you could find some safe areas there. Trenton and Camden, obviously, stay away from those. You gotta look around. Frozen again? Yep. Sorry. All right, it's refreshing right now, guys. All right, it's coming back on. You guys will see me in a second in case you... There we go. You know what's really weird about Baltimore is, for some reason, it was like 2 or 3 different times I went there, and I'm driving down the road, and there's some dude in the middle of the street. Not the same dude. This was different dudes entirely, just screaming in the middle of the street at something or someone or whatever. I was looking around trying to figure out what's going on. I think they were both screaming at the sky. That's my opinion. Thailand, huh? I have not heard about Abbotsford, Wisconsin. Never heard of that one. What about Northwest Alabama? See, Alabama, I give them a lot of crap, but that's not a bad state, especially the people. The people are amazing in Alabama. So, Jack, that's something we're working on. Again, we had one, and we were talking about this before, that I had one on the most, the best states for people living with disabilities. That was the video. For some reason, it got demonetized, so I never put it up, and it was sitting there for the longest time. finally I took it down and we're redoing it, and eventually we're going to put it back up probably within the next month or so. Opinion on Denver in the next 5-10 years. Denver's going to be a state, just because of the Rockies and all the outdoor stuff, that it'll always be popular no matter what. It's gotten worse, just like most cities, major cities, over the last 10 years. But I think it's going to get better. I really do. And it'll always be popular. And not because of the city, because of the Rockies right there and the outdoor lifestyle. You bought your wife in the Philippines? Best states for single men. Definitely not Washington. I heard that's the worst. I did a video like that a couple of years back. Actually, I did 2 different angles on it. The best place for singles, didn't do that good. Then I did another one, the best place to use dating apps. That didn't do well either. Best DC suburb. We did a video on DC suburbs. Look at something real quick. Ba, ba, ba. So I'm going on a big cruise. Anyone get that message? It's a vlogger cruise. A whole bunch of YouTubers are going to be on a cruise together. Most of them are travel vloggers. I'm like the least travel vlogger of all of them. So that could be interesting. But that's happening in January, out of New Orleans. How much does YouTube per video? How much do they what? Does West Virginia have a great outdoor lifestyle? Absolutely they do. See, this is the problem with West Virginia. They had loss of jobs, because the coal industry basically has faded away. And then they got hit by the opioid crisis really bad. So the opioid thing is going down. It's getting better. And the jobs, they're still not there. But now with so many remote workers, they're moving into West Virginia because West Virginia is a nice state that's dirt cheap. I mean, it's hard to get that. And their biggest problem, like I said, the reputation they have and the lack of jobs. But now people are working from home. Why not? Beautiful state. Shouting at the sky at Kmart. You know what? At least the dude could have done is find a classier place to scream at the sky, Leaving Austin. Okay. Are there any locations with livability score? I've never seen one, Greg. If there's one that's got a livability score of 100, I'd be shocked. I think the best I've ever seen is like 94. How much does YouTube pay per video? They don't pay per video, and it depends on how many people watch the video. You got to be in obviously the partner program where you get your money, but they don't pay you per video. I could have one video that makes a good amount, and like today's video hardly made anything. It wasn't even worth my time. Now the good thing is the videos will pay over time. They'll continue to pay, but little less each month, each year, whatever. Worcester nice? So, not really. I mean, there's way worse places, but Worcester's not the best place. So, Vincent, let me read this. Honestly, the Baltimore police should just leave East and West Baltimore alone and allow the gangs in those communities to kill themselves off. See, the downside is, I mean, besides the typical, that's not very good policy to have, civilians get caught up in that crap. And there's people, normal citizens, that got to live there amongst all that crap. So the police got to do their job. Wyoming is a good place to live off the grid. Yes, it is. Is Washington good? Washington's considered one of the best states to live right now. California's most beautiful state. Yeah, I mean, you could argue other states aren't. I mean, California has a lot of beauty. It's got a lot of problems, just like any state. There's a little more blown out, are a little more blown out these days, but California, you can't deny its beauty. All right, let me see if I can catch some of these ones I missed. Janine, what's up? Would I consider a video about climate sanctuary cities, states that will be the least negative effect by climate change? So yeah, I did one, the states or the cities that will be most affected by the rising. Can't even think right now. Ocean levels or whatever. It did okay. It did okay. It got a lot of people complaining about it and denying, those climate deniers. Um, they all seem to think they have the science nailed down. I don't know. So I did that video a while back. It did okay. Hey, Brian, how are you? I guess I could say that. I have a very more polarized opinion about most other states. Yeah. Well, California has a buttload of problems, and they get blown out. Everything goes back to politics, sadly. And, I mean, if you're looking at a news channel that leans right, they're going to point out every state that's run by Democrats and how horrible it is. They're going to point out all the bad things about it and ignore the good things about a state. Like California does have the highest paying jobs, has one of the best economies. It's beautiful. It's got a lot of good things, but they're incredibly expensive, like any place that is doing good, meaning people want to move there. So they blow it out because that's their agenda. Now, on the other side, they do the same thing. I mean, you bring up Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana all the time, and how they tank all the time. And I mean, you can't go a week without seeing something about Florida just sucks on one of those news channels. So, just like my opinion has always been, both parties suck. Which one sucks more just depends on where you're getting your news. That is the only difference. Utah is good. I'm tired. Yeah, Debbie, that's so many people I think are just getting tired of politics. I did a video just recently, if you didn't see it. It was about what Americans think is like killing the United States. And the political discourse in this, the political divide in this country is what most people think is just killing the United States. There's too many people that are obsessed with it. That's all they think about. And everywhere they go, they try and interject it into a conversation. And most people don't care, and the ones that used to care are getting burnt out. Now you only have the zealots that just talk about it all the time. Florida is awesome. Florida's a great place. What state has the least bad weather? You could argue California. Obviously, the San Diego area is supposed to be one of the best places in the world to live. South Carolina is pretty good. Sure, they get hurricanes and everything else like that. Georgia, again, hurricanes, humidity, but everyone's got something like that. You just follow that line from San Diego, go right across the country. That's usually good weather. Some types of systems that can be allowed decent people in neighborhoods to leave while the gangs dish it out. Yeah, that's, you know what? That sounds like a nice pipe dream to get the decent people out of a neighborhood, but I mean, not frozen again. Damn it. But you could argue that these people could just move out of those neighborhoods. Not everyone has that opportunity. And you're talking about millions of dollars to get people out of those neighborhoods that are decent. Then how do you decide who's decent? It's coming back on, guys. All right, so where were we here? Hobo traveler. Where'd I meet my wife? I met my wife in a parking lot. Actually, I met her she was actually working in a tanning salon. My ex-girlfriend told me I needed to get a tan. So I went and got a tan. And my wife was working the counter because her ex-boyfriend bailed on her and left her with an apartment and a lease. And so she had like 3 jobs at the time. So I met her there, and I just went for a tan. Now I got 3 kids, a grandchild, pig, dogs, mortgage. I was supposed to be living in Hawaii surfing. Microwaving the dinner. Yeah, redemption happens. I like doing this. It's good to see you too here. Favorite beach in California? You know, I grew up on Redondo Beach. That's my favorite. That's what I'm most familiar with. But I like some of the San Diego ones too, for surfing mostly. But I spent a lot of time on Redondo Beach. Thoughts on Savannah versus Charleston? That is a good question. I love them both. But I think Charleston is the one I'd settle on out of the 2. I have a pet pig, yeah. North Dakota is a solid place to live. Actually, I have a friend that moved there, and he was African American and was really worried when he first moved there. He didn't think, he'd fit in perfectly. He said there's a lot of decent people in North Dakota. You just got to get used to the weather. How did me and Nick get thrown out of a bar? Had something to do with my Grinch mask. Red Seed, thank you for supporting the channel. Thoughts on Albuquerque, New Mexico? Is it becoming a comparable city to Cleveland or Baltimore? No, it's nowhere near there. They do have some problems, and they do have some things they need to fix in a big way, but it's nowhere near the Cleveland-Baltimore situation. And, I mean, Cleveland and Baltimore have a long way to fix their crap. Albuquerque could fix theirs pretty easy. They just need a little money to do it, and they don't have a lot of money. Laguna's beautiful, too. Yeah, you're right. Charleston, I'd still move to Charleston. Yeah, North Dakota does get some serious blizzards. You know, and I don't like really ever talk about race, but that one shocked me when he told me. He goes, "This is one of the most accepting states I've ever been to, North Dakota." He's married to a very light-skinned Hispanic lady or woman, girl, whatever, and he said totally accepted. No one gave him any crap. Never got any weird stares. He loves the place. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I did. Love North Dakota. See, it's just weird, when you stereotypically just kind of put states in certain areas, you don't think that North Dakota would be like that. It just doesn't seem like that, and they are. Thoughts and predictions on where the Carolinas will go in the next 10 years? They're always going to be just where they are. They're always going to be like that. You got a lot of generations living there that like things just the way they are. But now this is the weird thing that, without getting into the politics of things, I'm just going to have to mention this. Okay, so lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I read something and I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, so as cities get bigger, cities are always going to be Democratic controlled, or at least a majority of them are. That's how it is, and it's a few different reasons for that. But the one I like to focus in on, it's kind of changing though too. But anyway, people that get college degrees, 74% of the time I think it is, are Democrats. So they come out of college, they either went in as a Democrat or they're coming out as a Democrat, one or the other. If you've got a higher education, you normally have to live in a city or near a city to apply that trade or that education you have. So you got a bunch of people that are coming out of college, they're now or were Democrats, they live in the cities, and they start voting that way. So as some of these states get bigger cities and the cities get more popular, like Charleston or whatever, you're going to see a little shift in the voting. Convincing an employer 1,700 miles away for work. Yeah, Moonlight. Thank you for supporting the channel. Advice on convincing your employer to allow you to move 1,700 miles away. Be a good employee that is indispensable, and they can't deny your request. That's how I've always viewed it. If I have someone working, actually I have someone that does a lot of my research. I don't think I've seen her here in the office in 2 years. I mean, she's come by once or twice, but actually work, no. That's because she does her job, she does it well, and I don't have to worry about it. Okay. I'm missing some. I was chatting away, and we haven't froze again yet, so we're doing good. Someone time the freezing situation next time, so we kind of get ready for it. And I promise by the next time I do this, I will have the freezing thing figured out. I've tried 3 different software, and so I'm pretty sure it's the camera now, or the cable's one of them. Do you read all the posts after a live chat? Do I read all the posts after live chat? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll read through some of them to see what I missed, and I, just do. Allentown, PA, I like it. The one thing, a lot of people, they'll leave me... So I read most of my video chats, or the comments, within the first hour of uploading a video. So if you ever want to get a comment that I'm going to see, make sure you're there the first hour the video is up. Absolutely, Mr. James. What are the best states to set up as a domicile state? I don't know. Thoughts on Pueblo, Colorado? Yeah. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty cool. Pueblo. But last time I said it was decent, I had a whole bunch of people climbing up my butt saying it's this nightmare, it's this horrible place. I'm like, no, it's not. Go to Detroit, go to Southside Chicago, and then Southside. I'm frozen again. Okay, so 49, 35. Okay, so 49 minutes. So we'll see when the next freeze is. I think everything froze on that one. There we go. All right, it's coming back up. Come on, start working again. Working on it. Wow, it's not unfreezing this time. What's going on here? There we go. Now we're back at it. Randy Cox. Hey, Randy Cox. Orange, my favorite color. Briggs, hello from Seattle. I sent you a message the other day about being up to 100. Talked about running down a bunch of sponsors. People do broadcasts. What was the 100? Remember something. Randy, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let me see. Briggs, hello from Seattle. You sent a message the other day about being up to 100. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. Okay, so the membership thing where you could actually join the channel and support the channel. That's what I was talking about. So there's a join button. Are we frozen again? No, we're not. There's a join button below all videos, and that's basically, you become a member of the channel, $1.99 a month or whatever you decide to do. That supports the channel a lot because I don't like to do a lot of sponsored. I don't want to do any sponsored videos. Am I frozen again? Frickin' am. What the hell's going on? What the hell? This is weird. That was quick. Okay, at least you can hear me. So, yeah, I don't like to do sponsored videos, so I'd rather, you know... Yeah, that's why I think it's the camera. It's mainly my... yeah, it's got to be the camera. It's pissing me off now. Now I'm obsessed with it. Anyway, but yeah, so members help out the channel a lot more, and it helps me so I don't ever have to do sponsored videos to keep things going. The reason I say have to, I have employees and things like that I got to take care of. No, actually I use vMix, which is like a $400 piece of software, but I've come to the conclusion it's not them, it's the camera or my wires. I got to figure out what's going on with it. Robert Burns, thank you for supporting the channel, and you too, Randy, thanks, I appreciate that. Any recommendations for small forest towns? Ooh. House price, thank you. You know what? I should do one like that. I want to do another one, best small towns in Colorado. Give me a couple weeks, and I'll have some answers for you. I don't know off the top of my head right now. But thank you for supporting the channel. Chandler, Arizona. You know, I'm not a desert person, but Chandler's nice. Best states for teachers. You know what? I looked into that one time, and I couldn't figure out what was going to be best. Was it the best pay? You know, and it was really weird. When am I going to buy a motorcycle and travel? So I almost killed myself. We used to go to the desert all the time, Southern California, growing up on motorcycles. And I almost killed myself like 4 different times. And I was like, yeah, I'm done with motorcycles. So we got a dune buggy. I love the hell out of that. Best state for homeschoolers. That's another thing I got into that I could never figure. Hey, Kate, how are you? It's good to see you too. Bet the pig would eat. But yeah, for homeschoolers, that one, you know what's weird about that? So the laws keep changing so much with that one. I had a hard time making sense of it. I'd live in Tucson before Phoenix. I've been to La Habra. I wouldn't say I like it. Better air quality, Colorado or Utah? I'd definitely go with Colorado. And Kate, thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate that. Hey, Martin is now a super fan. Thanks, Martin. Really helps out. Yeah, so if we ever do sponsored videos, it might be something that, I mean, my audience would like. I get offers all the time for, like, video games and stuff. That's not something you guys are interested in. Maybe a few of you, but that's not the type of thing you'd expect to see on this channel. Maybe if something like some real estate website, maybe something like that, but I haven't got any offers like that, and I don't think you guys, there's enough ads on my videos where I don't think you guys need me talking a minute about something also, you know, it just doesn't make sense. El Cajon, I love El Cajon. I still love to call it El Cajun, though. Robert Burns started the channel. Thank you for all the, hey, thank you, too many projects. Thank you for the advice a few weeks back. Absolutely. I hope it helped. Thank you for supporting the channel. I want to do that on the other channel because I get questions all the time, I mean, daily, about how to start a channel, how to keep it going, stuff like that. I kind of want to see if I could just get that to happen on the other channel and not talk about any real estate or travel or anything like that. Just talk about building a channel because I've put more time into learning how to run a YouTube channel and how to create a YouTube channel than I did in college. I swear. I've put more hours into this than anything I've ever done in my life. Absolutely. I hope I answered your question. James, someone else was asking. So, I don't eat it in front of my pig. I make sure she's outside when I do have some bacon. Idaho or Colorado? That is a good question. I would probably choose Idaho over the two. I like Colorado myself better, but if you're talking about raising a family, Idaho is one of the better states in the United States to do that right now. Old friend about... Black Cloud. Hey, Idaho. Talk about the future of Alaska. Well, Alaska's kind of lost its popularity in recent years. I mean, not like people are breaking down the door to move in there, but they're actually on the decline. I'd say the last 3 years they've been losing population, which is not good for a state. Thanks, Tall Pines. I caught Tall Pines cheating on me this week. I saw her in the live stream of another channel. Nick Johnson is awesome. He's a decent guy. I like him. Thoughts on Tennessee? Tennessee's not that bad, especially if you're a family person. Stay out of Memphis. The rest of the state's in pretty good shape. Boom, boom, boom. Have I missed anyone that has done a super chat? I hope not. If I did, I apologize. With all this freezing stuff, I get a little sideways and don't know what's going on. Texas, Florida college students? Texas or Florida for college students and young people? I'd probably go to Texas first. Hey, fellow Army brother. Jeffrey Toole, how are you? How about military towns? So many seem to have a bad rep. Well, most of them do. A bad rep. Oh my God, I had someone, I don't know if I want to get into this story, but it was ridiculous. So, I mentioned how, in a video, how any city or town outside of a military post is usually a nightmare, and a lot of it has to do with the idiots in the military. And when you're young and in the military, you're an idiot. I was. Just about everyone was. I mean, you're 19, you got your first real paychecks. Maybe you're 20, 21, you start drinking, or you got plenty of friends that will buy you beer. And it usually causes a lot of problems. Well, I get this one guy, first of all, he called himself a drill instructor. And he claimed he was a drill instructor for so many years at some army base. And the first thing is, nobody calls them drill instructors. Technically, that's the name, but everyone calls it a drill sergeant. So I questioned if he was really a drill instructor. But he starts giving me all these facts about how, if you're under 21, you're not allowed to drink, da-da-da-da. You should know that if you were in the military. He's giving me this, and I was like, dude, are you under the impression that no 20-year-old has ever gotten a hold of alcohol before just because there's rules against it? And I forget, I had some pretty funny things to say to him, but he was an idiot. He gave me this list of rules about it. Come on, dude. Let's be real. Hey, Briggs, I got a question about VA home loans. Is it a smart move for a single guy in his 30s? Want to buy a condo under $150,000? I'm a veteran in the Midwest and tired of renting. I would. I mean, you can't go wrong with a military loan or a VA loan. I got my house on that, and sure, the bank tried to get me, I went through USAA, but the bank tried to get, my bank, Key Bank, tried to get me to go into one of these loans that's adjustable mortgage, and I save all this money. Well, maybe that's true, but I just remember the nightmare that this country turned into when we had that total real estate collapse back around 2008. So I don't want to adjustable anything. I want to know what I'm paying every single month. And if you get a VA loan, they protect you from a lot of bad things that could happen if, with a normal loan from a normal bank. So I absolutely VA loan all the way. And if you could swing it right now in your 30s, there's nothing wrong with it. Buy a condo, buy a house, whatever. Are you too young to remember? Oh, the amusement park, the one Pacific, the one out in not Marina Del Rey, but Venice area. Is that the one you're talking about? POP Park, amusement park, the one that was on that pier. I never went to it. I know of it. If that's the one you're talking about. Actually, that's where my grandparents' first date was. Pacific Ocean Park, I believe it was called. Wait, was it there or was it the Pike they had their first date? I forget. I think it was Pacific Ocean Park. Best cities for college grads. Ooh, that's a tough question. That is something I should tackle, though. When do you think gang violence in America will greatly diminish to the point where we could kind of leave our front door open? So, gang violence is, compared to the 90s, is next to nothing right now. The 90s was when it was the absolute worst. And I don't think we're ever going to be able, at least not in our lifetime, in any town, leave your doors unlocked and all that. That's a 1950s dream that has gone by and we'll never see it again. And that's in most major cities. If you're hoping that's going to come back around, no. You might as well start hoping black and white televisions make a comeback, or MySpace. Froze again. Damn it. That didn't last long at all. John Roy, thank you for supporting the channel. Let me read what you said, even though my video is still frozen. There we go. Now we're back. Okay, give it a second. I'll be back. Okay, best season. Okay, let me read what John Roy said. I just want to know what state has the most single women, outnumber single men. 22 for good food, cheap for $2,000 my limit. That's a rough one. I did one about more men than women. That video did horrible. When was that one? I thought it would do good, actually. Let me find that video real quick. I think the video was entitled Too Many Dudes. Young, broken, single. There's one I did not too long ago, back a year ago. Oh, here, Too Many Dudes. I'll go to this video real quick. All right. There you go. That video should get you where you need. At least that's the Too Many Dudes one. One of the states or one of the cities that has, and it's actually pretty cheap, that has the most single women or women in general, man versus woman equation, more women than men, is Houston, Texas. Oddly enough. Oh yeah, there's way more men in Alaska than women. Okay. Why would an old lady move from Nevada to Detroit? Better weather? Ooh, definitely not. Congrats on 750. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it, Kate? Kate, you're in Oregon right now, right? You live in Oregon, I believe? Yeah, that's Rapid Valley, South Dakota. That's, you probably easily leave your door open, never have to worry about anything. But if you ever think about, am I frozen again? What the fuck? No, am I? Let me go back here. If you ever go to a major city, you shouldn't be leaving your door unlocked. Ugh, can't even think right now. Montana compared to North Dakota? Are we frozen again? What the? All right, guys. I think I'm going to wind this down because this is driving me crazy, and I'll have it better by the next time we do this, okay? Everyone, I appreciate you being here tonight. And I'll see you next time, I guess. This is... Oh, I'll fix it by